Welcome back into the studio, everybody. I'm Stephen Levine with NASCAR Illustrated. You know, each month in the magazine, we feature an up-and-coming driver in our Gaining Traction column. Today, it's Brennan Newberry, Truck Series rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and for a family team.
Yeah, definitely. You know, NTS Motorsports is something my dad and I started when I was about 9, but obviously he started a couple years before. He ran, you know, late models and super late models back home in Bakersfield, where racing is very rich. You know, in our blood, we had a track called Mason Run Raceway, and I got to go watch him when I was younger. And much like everyone else, you know, it's because of him why I got into it. Mom doesn't like that very much. I told him I want to go race, you know, preferably his late model the next weekend, but he told me no. He got me to a go-kart, started there, and we just have been working our way up. You know, I mean, we have ran everything from Muzak midgets to late models to super late models to Canyon West cars, Canyon East cars, and we ran some ARCA stuff last year and some truck stuff, but now we're going in for a full-fledged truck series this season. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. We're building a new team. You know, obviously I have a teammate in Ron Hornaday this season who
Not too shabby.
No. I mean, if you have anyone as a teammate, you definitely want Ron. I mean, he's been there from the very beginning. I think he said he's only missed 1 or 2 years since they began. And with the truck series starting in Bakersfield, actually from my old crew chief, Gary Collins, this is just something that's very rewarding, not only for myself, but for my dad, who's built this thing really from the ground up.
I can see where it being a family team could give you a sense of comfort. I can also see where it being a family team increases the pressure, because you don't want to disappoint, right?
All right. You know, that's something Dad and I talked about once we started getting up in the further ranks is, away from the track, he's Dad. You know, he's family. He's the guy that loves me all the time. But at the track, he's the owner, which I think is something that it really needs to be. You know, because if he's on my pit box as Dad, it's different advice I'd be getting from the pit box as the owner. Anybody who wants to make it in this sport has to go and perform. They have to go, you know, learn, and they have to go really be the best. And so even with a family team, that's still what we want to do. We want to go and run really good. We want to go and, you know, perform with the best of them out there and beat the best of them. I know that, you know, with Dad being the owner, that he'll put the best people behind me, behind Ron, the best people to help the team grow and prosper and become one of the best in the series. Just like any racer, it's pressure to just go out there and perform for any team.
Do you ever, when you're at the dinner table, do you ever say, "Can we just not talk about racing? Can we just talk about football, or can we like talk about like the movies or something?" Do you ever go there?
Oh well. No, that's more my mom and 2 younger sisters that I get that way. You know, it is a big family thing. My mom actually raced a couple of powder puff go-kart races, and you know, and my other sister Stephanie, she's also, you know, just really big team support, but you know, she liked going to the track and hanging out as well. So it's just something that we've all created as a family, and you know, I really wouldn't change it for a thing.
Well, let's talk about Bakersfield a little bit, because obviously there's a great racing tradition out of Bakersfield. Kevin Harvick, you know, obviously the biggest name that most people know about, but his father Mike was your first crew chief.
Yes. Yep.
How was that? Was that like, were you like, oh my God, this is Kevin Harvick's dad, or was it just like, okay, this is my crew chief?
Well, in the very beginning, it was like, oh my gosh, this is Kevin's dad. But then after a while, you're like, well, if I keep, you know, maybe making him up here, I feel like I'm never going to reach him and we're never going to connect. So, you know, Mike and I developed a relationship, but when I look back at it now, I just go, man, that was Kevin Harvick's dad. You know, the guy that helped take him from go-karts all the way to where he is now. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's kind of it's a motivation, you know, for my dad and I. I mean, my dad's trying to do the same thing that Mike did for Kevin. And so we've met a lot of really good people from Bakersfield. We've also met Gary Collins, like I said, who created the truck series. His dad, Marion, owned Mason Run Raceway, and even having that connection, I ran out of Gary's shop for 4 years. That's the coolest thing in the world for me. I see the first mock-ups of the truck, and it's like, wow, that's really cool. I mean, and we're in Mike's shop, and you see pictures of Kevin when he's growing up, and you know, like I said, it's just racing is so rich in Bakersfield. It's really cool to be doing the same thing that other people are doing. There's a lot of people, you know, that we can look back on and go, man, it's really cool to be in the same division as these guys and go on the same route. And
now it's sort of come full circle, because your team has bought Kevin Harvick Incorporated's facilities. Yeah. And Kevin's going to run a couple of races for you guys. Yeah,
Kevin's going to run 2 right now. He's going to run both Martinsville races where he's won before. I mean, he ran for RCR last year in the first race and won it.
I keep thinking, okay, you're 23 and your teammates are Ron Hornaday and Kevin Harvick. I mean, that just must be mind-boggling in some ways.
They're so successful. I mean, they're so widely known. I mean, to have these two guys, I mean, that can help teach me. I mean, they've been there. They've been all the way to the top. You know, and Ron loved the truck series. Kevin loves the truck series. That's why they're still involved. You know, Ron really wants to make another run for the championship. Kevin wants to, you know, help a truck team where he doesn't have to own it. I mean, this is just, it was just a really good situation for us, you know, to where Kevin said, hey, I have this facility. Let's team up. I'll advise you. I'll help you guys. Same with Ron. I really want to go for a championship. If you guys can put a championship team together, then I'll go. You know, my dad, Bob Newberry, has done. We've hired Bruce Cook to come in as the competition director. I got, you know, a new crew chief and Eddie Pardue, and you know, just I've been here actually solid the last 3 weeks, and just to see the progress that we made, because we didn't start this until December. I mean, they have done so much work. Obviously, with the advising of Ron and Kevin, you know, we've really just got our program to where we think it's just going to run very smoothly. Obviously, we're going to have our ups and downs, you know, our learning curves, but you know, this is just a situation that every time I think about it, I have to smile. So every day I walk in the shop, I'm excited to be there. It doesn't matter what time I get there. Like I got there yesterday at 7, or the other day when I got there at 8, those guys are already there. I mean, most of them come from here, from Charlotte, drive an hour and a half. So everyone's committed, everyone's pumped up.